threw her out, friend cheated her, boyfriend cheated her, everything, and it was just sad. I just like to echo what the other lady is saying is, like, who should fight this fight? Because it seems like the gay right, because if you're talking about LGBTQ, the transgender is in the equation, but who should fight it? Because I think during the IndigNation, Lord Tricia mentioned, there's no much transgender people coming here to fight.
We're token.
Yeah.
So if you are talking about LGBT, the L stands for lesbian in lesbians, right? And they are protected by Women's Charter. And even though after my sex change, I went for my sex change, I am a woman, I have a female ID, but they will still, hey, when did you do your operation? Hey, katamai. And the policeman still can ask, okay, you are female. The IC already says I'm a female, why are you asking this stupid question?
Can I just mention though that like I think that Sayoni would be the main queer women's group here. It is open to transgender women, and it is, and actually really they are the only activist group here that's really got advocacy
There could
strategy.
be an activist group, but
yes.
We must see how far can they go to protect us and give us a better life. That's the most important thing.
What I mean is, I think some okay. They need help. They need help, and they need people who
so
know what to do. So if there's a possibility that I think they would, if some transgender women went to them and say we want to use your resources to start a body that protects.
It's like you're saying LGBT group. Okay, first when I came, I didn't just from out of my mother's womb. I just came out, hey, I'm a woman. No. We start from there first. We start from being soft, and in school during our transition, we were gays first. Then eventually, maybe the female hormones was too much on us. Okay, fine, I do not need gay life. I want to be a woman. So they should understand within our own society. We should understand each other. Okay, you are gay. Yes, I respect you for gay. At the same time, you respect me for I chose to be a woman. That's the thing.
Okay.
2 years ago, in Stockholm, one of the talks that were organized, and Aware was putting out something, and I posed this question to Aware: what if one of us I am arrested, trans woman is arrested, what can you do for us? He said, we normally don't do, but then if we know you, then we do it on a one-to-one basis. But that's not good. Yeah. What about the other girls? They
want us to pay our tax. We pay our tax. We do everything.
I mean, just because
but when it comes to when we ask for protection, it's like we are like the second citizen. We are not even PR. We are not even work permit. You are just refugee.
Of the law, correct.
Refugee.
I have a question.
Okay, hey, I have to mention that the next show is supposed to start at 9:30, which is in 13 minutes. So let's take the remaining questions all at one go, okay? And we'll try and respond to all of them before we wrap up. Okay, so yes, Melissa, boy in blue.
I'll end it.
All right.
Melissa, boy in blue, lady in checkers. Wait, yeah.
For me, just two things. Recently, I saw an article going around written by this guy about the recent hashtag fuck cis people. He was saying that at first he felt a little bit bruised he felt a little bit defensive, but then he observed that, and I really like this, he said, of course you feel offensive when people tell you that you're being a problem, but ultimately sometimes social discourse isn't about you and your feelings. And this is why he said anger is a perfectly legitimate response sometimes, which is why I really appreciate that Selva, you wrote in at the end, I don't give a damn about your society, because to me that was a statement of anger, and it was very important, because it's not about let me help you, or how can cis people help trans people, or how can trans people receive more help, what can we do to help ourselves? Why is it, I think all the the talk about like helping aside, expressions of anger are perfectly legitimate and important as well. The second thing I wanted to mention, Professor, you do work in anthropology, don't you? And And Selva, you did say that some trans people are kind of celebrated as a form of cultural icon. I was doing an anthropologically related module in school, and what we were discussing was how some minorities are only accepted or given safety by right of them living out a certain stereotype. So it could be that sometimes trans people are only seen as a good thing or celebrated because they happen to be living a certain stereotype. They're being exotic. They're being different. They're being entertaining. So I also was feeling that it could be problematic that sometimes minorities are only looked upon as good things. Like we feel good things about them because we already maintain that sort of ideological distance between themselves and us. We feel good about them because they're so different from us, and we like that, and we exotify that.
Yeah. Okay, hold on to your response. Yes, boy in blue.
Yeah, take. So this is probably a question primarily for Dr. Ward. I think you were mentioning something about gender binarism earlier, so it's how you behave, if I didn't misunderstand you. And I think in Singapore right now it's about, like you said, what's on the ID card, right? So that's sexual binarism right now in Singapore. So that's why we have the pre-op and the post-op thing going on.
I'll highlight one recent case later.
Yeah, sure. So I think in North America right now, there's a kind of emergence of people who are trans women or men who are identifying as a non-op. So meaning that they actively resist, operation because they see it as part of the problem of sexual binarism. So my question to you then would be, I don't think we're seeing an emergence of that in Southeast Asia, and why would that be when colonialism has kind of changed us from gender binarism to sexual binarism? So what is impeding that kind of change, and is that a change we should look forward to? So yeah.
Have you met Marla yet?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, but she's the only one. Okay, okay, lady in checks.
No, I don't.
Okay, okay, was there...
I'll end it.
Okay, great.
I'll gladly end it for you.
All right.
All right?
So, okay, right.
Yeah.
You want to ask now?
No, it's a comment.
Yes.
Right, and I think after listening to the panel and the wonderful work that we've just seen, it's very obvious that I think Singapore has a long way to go towards acceptance. Seriously? And I think that is the basis of it. And it's things like this. It's taking very small steps to make big changes in our society that will eventually be more inclusive. And it's the same thing with special needs and with transgender or with sexual identity. It's a matter of being different. And in Singapore, if you're not in mainstream, then you're not, right? And that is the basis of it. This is a matter that we could sit down and talk for ages. And it's not just here; it's in Southeast Asia as well. It's a problem that we have as a society and as people. And it's a misconception, and we have to be a lot more receptive of it. And I've been here and I think I've learned a lot more. I go back more knowledge and more enlightened about the number of holes I have on my body as a woman. And so thank you for the wonderful opportunity for having us here. It was fantastic, so thank you. I've had a wonderful evening.
Okay, Dr. Ward, why don't you respond to Melissa and Tix?
Yeah. As a university professor, I'm inclined to long lectures. I'll try to be brief. I think the basic understanding that really helps sort out the different kinds of ways that people approach all of these issues is that you can, in a rights-based discourse, the fundamental idea is we're all in this together. Differences exist, but they don't matter. So difference makes no difference. And to most societies in the world, and certainly in Asian societies, that none of that applies. The whole understanding of social relations, all social relations, not just having to do with gender and sexuality, are based on hierarchy. And hierarchy says we're all in this together because we depend upon each other because we're different. That's why gender binarism makes sense, as long as everybody is agreed and will settle for one option out of the range of two, then we're different, we depend upon each other because of that difference. And biology and so on, that's private, that's not really such a big concern. But it's true, you have to know your place. That's the whole idea of hierarchy, is knowing your place based upon however you're different from anybody else. If you start saying, no, I don't like this place, just because I am a particular way doesn't mean I should be lower in the scale of respect, or that I should be confined to certain kinds of roles. When you start rejecting that, then you have actually put the entire principle of hierarchy into question, and people get very anxious. And again, it doesn't just concern gender and sexuality, it concerns all bases upon which social relations can be carried out. I don't want to defend that position, but I think it's very important to understand that that is the way a lot of people in the world think about all social relations, and that's why people get very, at least confused and maybe violent in their response to people who say, my difference, this difference makes no difference. I don't know if that's clear, but that's my sort of instant analysis of the fundamental conflict between Western LGBT discourse, which is rights-based, and an Asian discourse, which is often, well, to Westerners looks like a rather mealy-mouthed discourse about rights, but may emphasize remaining on good terms with your family, or keeping things private, and the public can take care of itself, and so on.
All right, and there is a crowd of people waiting outside now. So I'd like to thank my lovely panelists, Tricia, Sonia, Selva, and those of you, okay, the night isn't over. If you wish to continue hanging out at the cafe, you can of course actually hang out outside and order more cakes and tea through the window. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I would also like to mention this. I know that there are too few transgender events in IndigNation and in the LGBT activist calendar in general. And one idea I've had is just starting a transgender writing workshop. So if you are transgender identified and you are interested in that, could you just check in with me, and I'll give you my email address and you can correspond. Yeah, and ideally it won't just be writing in English. So okay, now we're going to leave, but Ward, our panelists will be outside for a while. Chat with our panelists, order more food. Romba Nandri to all of you.